It's time for Penn State Open Practice Highlights. I'm Thomas Frank Carr. Hit the like button, and I'll show you what I saw Penn State's Tuesday availability. Okay, fine, I'll show you anyway, but I'd still appreciate it if you hit the like button. We're trying to get this video to 500. We'll start with the Penn State defense and a look at the safety competition. Last week, we mentioned that KJ Winston went through drills just ahead of Zakee Wheatley. This week, that competition is flipped, with Wheatley going second in all of the drills we observed. This competition, which includes starters Jaylen, Reed, and Keaton, Ellis, should get the most out of the entire room. Reed, by the way, who had surgery after the Rose Bowl, was back and participating in contact during open periods that we've seen so far, which is great news for the team's overall depth. So while all the players in this room will play, the competition should bring out the best in all of them. Linebackers got after it in coverage drills and tackling. Some notable players included Tony Rojas, who looked right at home dropping into coverage as a converted defensive end from high school. Meanwhile, Abdul Carter looks like a lab-made linebacker. He and Curtis Jacobs stand out from that impressive group during defensive drills. However, we're going to spend most of our time on the Penn State offense, and we're going to quickly shift our focus to the offensive line and check in on that group. Penn State's tackles were going through a drill we haven't seen before, in which they practice their pass drop with teammates holding bands, and they hold the ball between their hands. Caden Wallace went through the drill several times on the right side before sophomore Drew Shelton took over. This is another competition point on the Penn State roster, both players competing for snaps this spring. Behind Olu Fashanu on the left side, freshman Jaylen Williams getting some work on his pass sets, showing at least the beginning of his intended future on the roster. But the star of Tuesday's practice was new receivers coach Marcus Hagans. He was animated, engaged, and very entertaining to watch teach. He also runs pretty good routes, man. I'm not going to lie. He worked with the team's outside receivers for the most part and worked on contested catches for the final portion of the practice we observed. He took them through the specifics of catching the ball in a crowd and what they were trying to accomplish to create a big play for the offense. How his teaching style translates to the field and how it can get the most out of the big-bodied players on the roster will be fascinating to watch. Head coach James Franklin called the team's third receiver position the real battle and the #1 question for the rest of spring and summer. We'll keep you up to date on how that's playing out. That's our look at practice. I'm Thomas Frank Carr. Subscribe to Blue White Illustrated on YouTube and check out bluewhiteillustrated.com for more spring football content.